We're looking at practice clips from minicamp and OTAs. Today, we're looking at the Cleveland Browns, getting another look at Joe Flacco. We're going to talk about training camp. We're going to talk about what he's doing on the field, how everything looks, who's going to be the starter for the Browns. Before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now because we're looking at training camp here soon. That's right around the corner. We're going to be looking at your rookies, your quarterback battles, guys on your favorite team, those guys you're drafting in fantasy football. You want to know how these guys are looking like, if they're climbing the depth chart, if they're going to play. It's all right here. Click that button. Stop missing out. Know what your players are doing behind the scenes. We're looking at Joe Flacco today. 8 minutes and 40 seconds. We're going to talk some ball. We're going to loop it. But there we are. This is one of the most fascinating quarterback battles in the NFL because it's technically a four-way race. And we want to see how that ends up because there's a chance we see multiple quarterbacks come in and play throughout the season. Good chance for that. Flacco, considering veteran status, considering rapport, considering everything else, front runner right now. And he's got the head start, and we're going into training camp, and we got to see if we can hold it down. That's the thing about this. You're getting the first team reps. You're getting the opportunities. You got to see if you can hold it down wire to wire. You're pacing the laps, and you just got to not slip up. He's had his moments, good and bad, throughout his career. He's had his moments where he looked good with the Browns before. He had moments where he looked good with other teams. However, he also had his moments where he can throw picks, and this team has to control the football. They can't turn it over. That's one thing this team has to do. And the football starts getting turned over, quarterbacks are going to start getting turned over. That is the thing. Now, if that happens in training camp, these coaches are going to get nervous. They're going to get nervous. However, Flacco's been stacking days. He's been looking solid. He's been treated like a starter. He had some time in minicamp where he got a little bit of a rest. He is an older veteran, so that makes sense. But also behind him, you got Kenny Pickett. You got Shedeur Sanders. You got Dylan Gabriel. Shedeur Sanders, everybody's watching him like a hawk. And he has been looking good in camp. He has been looking solid. He's completed about 80% of his passes. He's been working with the 4s, the 3s, a little bit of opportunity with the 2s. Whatever the coaches have been throwing at him in practice, he's been showing up. He's been looking good. He's been getting work after practice. He's been working with Flacco. He's built a rapport with Flacco. Pickett, on the other hand, he's had his moments where he's looked good, but he also had some down moments as well. Looking at that, around the tail end of OTAs, he had some balls noted by beat writers. They didn't really show up much in the clips that they were posting. Noted by beat writers. If you want to know who, I'd have to look that back up. But it was like more than one that he had some balls that should have been picked off. But honestly, when you look at this team, you look at what the coaching staff's wanting to do, you look at the schedule, you look at Flacco, the veteran quarterback, you can definitely see this team rolling with Flacco the start of the season, trying to see if they can hold on tight, win the turnover differential, squeak out some tough matchups, and look good in the middle of the season to where they can make a run. That's what the coaching staff's wanting to do. And Flacco could do that. He has the potential to do that. He has the potential to push it downfield. He has the potential to look good in this offense. That's the thing about Flacco. Now, Shedeur has a lot of upside. He has some downside to him as well. And the coaching staff, you have to think and put yourselves in their shoes and how they think. Not with what you want to do in their shoes, but how they're thinking. You look at the schedule, it's rough this year. You're talking about the beat writers, you listen to the podcast, they're talking about how rough it is to start the season. I don't know if you want to throw in a rookie into that anyways. And you got Joe Flacco, a veteran. They're giving him starter reps. He's getting starter veteran treatment. And he's handling it good. He's been looking solid. He's on the money on a lot of his throws. He's commanding the offense. That throw was a little off, or that one was a miss. I was talking during the middle of that. But you'll see, he's got a lower completion rate, but it's also with the ones. So tighter windows, bobbled balls, tougher competition, and it's against air. not against the pass rush. So we have to see how things come in training camp. From what has been noted, the top quarterbacks with the hands that have been dealt, and when I mean by hands with the dealt, who they're playing with, the top ones that were Shedeur and Flacco when it comes to their play. Gabriel had some moments where the ball has been batted down around the line of scrimmage. That came up more in OTAs. Both him and Pickett had some issues. And when ESPN Cleveland ranked the quarterbacks, which I don't take them as information, I have a big grain of salt with them because they're very emotional and they're trying to get those clicks and headlines when it comes to their clips. But it was noted. It was like Flacco, Shedeur together. And then it was Gabriel, then Pickett. And that was right out of OTAs. Not counting minicamp. But that's what was noted. But Flacco's your starter. He's been around the league. Coaching staff's going to feel safer with him. I believe he's going to be the starter of this team to start week 1. I believe that. I also believe we're going to see multiple quarterbacks in and out of this offense throughout the season. I would not be surprised if we see 3 of the 4 out there on the field this year. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. The reason why I believe Flacco will be the starter, and the reason how that could go wrong, is if he has a run of bad practices where a lot of missed opportunities and some interceptions, because that could happen. That's happened with Flacco. That could definitely happen. Father Time starts coming his way. Maybe we get banged up. I look for multiple quarterbacks to start this year. I look for Flacco to start as the starter unless something happens, injury, bad run of practices. We don't look good in joint practices. Father Time's coming in. And he's saying it's done. And now we're looking at the other quarterbacks. I look for Kenny Pickett to be highly coveted by the coaches, but not by the people. I look for that. That would be my other guess for the Browns. Kenny Pickett to be highly coveted by the coaches, but not by the people, as in me and you. We're not going to like it. I never liked Kenny Pickett. Actually, I'll talk about the Vikings and Jordan Addison and make fun of Kenny Pickett by proxy. Like, how Kenny Pickett got drafted. There's a bad ball. That was Pickett. How Kenny Pickett got drafted is Jordan Addison. If Jordan Addison wasn't there, there's no way we're even talking about him. May not even be draftable. Like, this is a quarterback that has limited promise. Limited, if any. If any. I like Dylan Gabriel better than him long term. I think Dylan Gabriel, prospect-wise, was a better quarterback. And they're both weak quarterback classes. Dylan Gabriel, prospect-wise, coming out of college, was a better quarterback. Shedeur, prospect-wise, better quarterback than Kenny Pickett. Like, Kenny Pickett is going to fumble. If he does make me look bad, I will do a video on it and talk about how I apologize to Kenny Pickett. I'll apologize to Kenny Pickett. It ain't going to happen. I ain't going to be apologizing to Kenny Pickett after years and years of me ragging on him. Shedeur Sanders has more upside, but he is a rookie. Shedeur Sanders has immense upside, but he is a rookie. I think he'll start somewhere down the line this season. We got to see how that goes. But I don't think you want him thrown to the fire week 1 anyways. I think you do have some upside with him. He's been looking good. He's been stacking days in practice. I think you need to throw him under the fire a little bit more. I think the Browns need to do that because they might be in a position where they may want to start him and see what's under the hood. And they got to take the kid's gloves off. And they got to get him with the 1s and more with the 2s and more competition, especially when joint practices come up. And they've got to see what they have in him. Like, they got to give him more opportunity. They got to give him more opportunity for run. Right now, every test they give him, he passes. That's the thing with Shedeur Sanders, but they need to test him more. They need to give him the opportunity to pass or fail, and it can't be in game. That's not fair to him. That's not fair to the Browns and not fair to any of the players out there. And Joe Flacco, we know what we got with him, and I believe he's going to be the starter. And I believe he's going to get those opportunities. However, there's limited amount of touches and practices, but you need to have the time made. But knowing the coaching staff, they're going to value Kenny Pickett more than what we like, more than what we want. I don't like Kenny Pickett. I never have. From the end of time, from the start of I've been doing this channel before Kenny Pickett. I've been doing fantasy football and football analysis long time before Kenny Pickett came around. Kenny Pickett might have been even in like middle school or elementary school. That's how long I've been doing this. I'm going to say this. Kenny Pickett's not going to be the one. The one may not be on this team, but you got to start throwing some feet to the fire here. That's what I want to see in training camp. I want to see when Flacco gets his rest days, we start putting these quarterbacks to the fire. We start pushing them. Like, that's what we are going to see that in training camp. We want to see who's the guy. I want to see Shedeur more with the ones in training camp. I want to see that opportunity. Whether you think he earned it or not, you don't know. But I can definitely tell you 80% completion rate, 3s, 4s, a little bit with the 2s, everything thrown at him, every test he's passed. I think Gabriel as a high-end developmental quarterback. I think Flacco has the opportunity to run this offense, make it look good. I think Flacco has the opportunity to do so. Like, if he's pushing it downfield, getting vertical, and the Browns are moving the football in some of these matchups early on, I would not be surprised. That's the thing about this. Flacco's good enough to get it done. If Flacco's doing that, then it's Flacco's job, and he deserves it. He's been in the league. He's been proving himself. I think he's the safest option to get you by. I think he's the safest option to sneak you through. I think he's a safe option if you need him to run the offense and get you through some of these games and possibly get you a win streak. I think he has that potential. I think he has the potential to push it downfield and help Calvin Ridley, Tillman, Deontay Johnson's an X factor there. They're going to have him in the slot a lot, it looks like. That's an X factor for this team. You got these running backs. I think Flacco's got a lot of potential here to be looking good. He also has the potential here to be looking bad. It's all here. It's all up in the air because Father Time's there. You're looking at the downside of what we saw throughout the years and also the upside. He's also got the upside. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and you don't know which Flacco you're going to get. I don't know which doctor was the good doctor, but the good doctor comes out, then the Browns will be looking better than expected because they got a hell of a defense. And if you get the good doctor coming out with Flacco, then you're going to get good ball control. You're going to get the running backs looking good. If you get the bad doctor coming out, you're using multiple quarterbacks and Shedeur's coming out. Pickett's going to fail. Then it's Shedeur. So if you get the good doctor, you're going to get Flacco holding it down, pushing this team, and they might backdoor their way into the playoffs or be competitive. They could be a legend killer. He could be the Randy Orton out there. You could be getting that. If you get the bad doctor, you're seeing multiple quarterbacks out there. Somewhere down the line, Kenny Pickett's coming in. He's going to fail. And then you're going to get Shedeur, and then you get to see that experiment. And you're at least going to be fun with that. Then Gabriel you might even see all four. I would push out Shedeur. I would want to see what I got in him before I start getting into looking at these top-end quarterbacks of the 2026 class. They are in position to make some moves for that, and I think they're thinking heavy on that. I don't think they mind having a losing season either. Once they're middle of the season, they don't want that, and they're going to show their hand with that with Flacco starting. They're going to try and backdoor themselves into the playoffs with Flacco. But like I said, the take is you're either going to get good Flacco, where you're going to get more than expected, because he's done that recently, or you're going to get bad Flacco, where you're going to see the picks come out. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be a slow-paced offense, and you're going to see multiple quarterbacks. I think this coaching staff is going to covet Pickett a little bit more than what you want, and that's going to be fire and brimstone. And then you get the Shedeur Sanders experience. And after watching Pickett throw ducks on the field, I don't know how Shedeur's going to feel. He's either going to be fired up for it, or that's going to suck. I'm just thinking about how I'd feel. And he's a good dude. I'm thinking about how I feel watching Kenny Pickett throw ducks all these years. I'm very down on it. But you're watching Flacco. I think you got some good opportunity here to be sneaky. Like I said, it's Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde with Flacco, but how is that looking like for fantasy? Jerry Jeudy being a sneaky asset. Flacco, late round quarterback that you're streaming with. Quinshon Judkins, he's going to be getting that work. Sneaky quarterback, running back prospect. I said quarterback. Running back prospect that could come out and be a hammer for you. I believe that's in the cards there. Quinshon Judkins could be the outlier for this team. Like, if you're a Browns fan watching this, Quinshon Judkins could be the outlier for this team that gets you over the hump. And you're just handing it off, and you got to make a play or two every drive. And if you make the play or two every drive, you're scoring. That's the thing. That quarterback makes that move, and that's probably Flacco. And that gets you by. And all you have to do is not turn it over, protect the football. The defense does what it does. Next thing you know, you sneak away a couple more wins, and other people are not expecting you, the beat writers, the media, to win, and you do it. Next thing you know, we're middle of season, you're eating your Halloween candy. Browns are in the thick of it. You don't know what's going to happen, but they continue that pace. It's up in the air. That is the story here you have with the Factory of Sadness here in Cleveland. That is the upside play. That if Quinshon Judkins hits, you get some of these wide receivers playing well, looking at Deontay Johnson if he can get back to where he was. Flacco not turning it over. And you're able to rely on the run, control the clock. The defense does what it does. Not turn it over. You can sneak some wins here. That's what the coaching staff is thinking. That's what they're hoping for. If that doesn't materialize, you're going to see multiple quarterbacks in. They're going to see what they got on this roster because they got to make an investment in quarterback next year. And they want to see whether or not they need to. And you're going to see a revolving door of quarterbacks. You're going to see the Kenny Pickett blunder. Then you're going to see the Shedeur Sanders experiments. And that's going to be later on the road with that. And I believe they're going to go Pickett over Shedeur because Browns are going to be the Browns. I would do Shedeur over Pickett. I think Shedeur has more upside. That's what I'd do. But the Browns are going to be the Browns. That's why they have so many nameplates on the back of that jersey of quarterbacks from over time. That's how it is. And different coaching staff, same damn story. Same damn story. I would be going upside play. I'd be pulling strings to see what's out there before I need to make the move next year. That's what I'd be doing. Investment-wise, that's what I'd be doing. I think we saw enough of Kenny Pickett with the other teams that we don't need to play that out unless he starts playing hero in training camp. And he hasn't been yet. So why is he going to do that with the pass rush now when he can't do that against air? He hasn't been yet. Like, he's just been looking at it like a quarterback there that's just there to practice. He hasn't been yet. This is a good opportunity for Kenny Pickett to step up and be the guy anywhere. This is very ambiguous right now, and he hasn't yet. When he's talking with Shedeur, it looks like Shedeur's teaching him stuff. Like, how's that going to happen? I feel like this coach staff's going to covet Kenny Pickett. Like, Kenny Pickett's not going to be the one. Like, if Kenny Pickett was going to turn things around, we'd start getting the buzz now. He's got to start doing it week 1 training camp. Week 1. Now, the Browns coaches might feel warm and fuzzy. He has had a lot thrown at him, more thrown at him compared to the 2 younger quarterbacks from what I hear from the beat writers. But that doesn't matter because he's been in the league. He's already had it thrown at him. He's already had his time. It's got to turn around fast or it's not at all. Not really a great prospect coming out of college. He was in a bad quarterback class and got overdrafted. I think Flacco's going to be the starter. I think the coaching staff is going to hold on to him. He's going to be the safe play. Whether you get good Flacco, bad Flacco, that's going to be the take. If you get bad Flacco, you're going to see all the other quarterbacks. You get good Flacco, they're going to hold on tight, see if they can sneak some games. You'll know by Halloween time. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.